here, folks, on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We bring you the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you, as always, via YouTube. And speaking of a channel, you go ahead right now, you hit that subscribe button, you tap subscribe right now. Get every friend, every family member, every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football to hit that subscribe button as well. Also, continue to hit that like button. Tap that like button. Get those like levels up right here. We're trying to get this 50 likes out the gate to start the show. So continue to tap that like button right there. Also, all donations welcomed. All donations appreciated. We are the daily super chat goal, $100 daily super chat goal. We appreciate that from all of you. Continue hitting that notification bell so that way you get all your updates when talking Tide football. But right now, we're going to jump into the guest that we have for today. He's on the phone lines right now. So we go to the In My Own Words hotline. We start off with a good friend of mine, brother to the show. He is a two-time national championship wide receiver for your Alabama Crimson Tide, 2015 and 2017. He's doing some big things when it comes down to helping players get more acquainted, have more of a feel when it comes down to NIL, name, image, and likeness. He is Donnie Lee Jr. Donnie, what's going on, man? Happy to have you back in here.
My man, Stephen Smith, how you doing, boss?
Cannot complain, Donnie. Happy to have you in here on a Friday. If you're just checking us out here today, we're joined by Donnie Lee Jr., former Alabama wide receiver, two-time national champion 2015 and 2017. So, Donnie, starting off with this, you are really close with Jermaine Burton. You work with him a lot. Very talented young man. Came in last year via the transfer portal from Georgia. Started to come on strong the back half of last season. He finished up with 677 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. But when you look at year two, his senior year now in Tuscaloosa, what type of an impact do you see him making now? When I talked to you before, you mentioned how last year he was kind of an outsider coming in. Now he has an idea of what the program is and what the program is about. So what type of impact do you see from Burton this season?
Oh, man, I think, for any athlete, when you're coming into Alabama, that first year is going to be a transition period for you where you're kind of just understanding the culture and figuring out how things work. And so obviously, Jermaine had that transition period just like every other Alabama football player has. Just based off what I've seen at practice, man, it's like he's really finding his groove, just building team chemistry with the rest of the guys on the team. Jermaine's really adamant about taking on a leadership role on and off the field this year. Obviously, his performance in that Kansas State game just spoke volumes in terms of the potential that he does have. But for Jermaine, man, potential is not enough, and that's the Alabama standard in general, man. Just potential is not enough. It's got to be realized potential. We've got to work to bring that to realization. And so I think that's Jermaine's primary focus right now, doing his 1 of 11 and helping the team win and get back to that winning tradition.
So just for you, Donnie, you watch him and looking at him, at what point last year did you think, okay, Burton's got it now? It's clicking for him now. He has an understanding for it now. At what point last year did you see that?
Man, I think there's never really just an individual moment where it just clicks. I think it's a progressive occasion. And so obviously about midway through the season, he started different things that he could do, different ways that he can contribute to the team, just understanding the system, and finding different ways to produce, man. So I think for any athlete, and Jermaine specifically, man, about halfway through the season, he just kind of caught his groove. And from there, man, it just kind of took off, and we've seen that climax in that bowl game at the end of the season. And hopefully, we're looking to have a continuation of that.
You're just checking out the show here on a Friday. We got the man Donnie Lee Jr. right here, former Alabama wide receiver, two-time college football playoff national champion 2015 and 2017, live here on the show. And Donnie, look at it now, spring practice. I know you've mentioned that you got a chance to check out a couple of these thus far, but when you look at just the motivation, the energy in the room, the atmosphere, guys trying to get back to have that hungry, dominant mentality of winning a national championship. What have you been seeing in the spring practices from Coach Saban, from the coaching staff, from the players that just have you excited for this upcoming year for the Tide?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've only had the opportunity to watch one of the practices, man. It was just the intensity and the energy that the guys brought to the practice, the communication from both the coaches and the players as well. But just an individual conversation that I've had with certain players on just different things that, the players have come out and said publicly as well. Specifically J.C. Latham, man, and it's just understanding of we need to get Bama football back to being feared in the SEC and in college football as a whole, right, at a macro level. That's the big thing, right? I think last year we kind of started to notice that people didn't really fear playing Alabama. I think you see a lot more people publicly get in the media and just talking about Coach Saban, critiquing Coach Saban. You've seen where Hugh Freeze came out and talked about, how badly he wanted to beat Coach Saban in the Iron Bowl. And I loved HaHa's response to that. Bama's got to get back to being Bama and having our culture, and having guys like J.C. Latham leading that group is what's going to take it there, man. Having guys like Malachi Moore, Terrion Arnold coming back in his next season. It's going to take guys like that, Devontae Smith and taking over leadership roles, Booty Kite, guys like that, getting it back to a point where people fear playing Alabama, and we don't have other coaches disrespecting our head coach. We don't tolerate that. Everybody in that locker room has tremendous respect for Coach Saban and the process that he's built. And I personally don't like how it's being handled in the media. I mean, you've seen what took place in the national championship broadcasting, where the guy just blatantly talked about how Georgia had taken over college football right in front of our head coach. And so it's time for us to step up for him and defend him with the way that we play ball. Just locking into what we do. Toughness, pride, discipline, and commitment. Our 4 quarters. And so I'm excited to see you guys get back to that.
So, Donnie, as we flip this here to a bigger portion of this conversation, and that part of the conversation is when you look at HaHa Clinton-Dix, having him back in the program as a former All-American safety, he's now in that player development role. What has he done to kind of invoke or restore that tough, that nasty, that mentality of we're Bama, we know we're Bama, but most importantly, you are going to know that we're Alabama football. What has HaHa Clinton-Dix done in his return as a player development guy to put that culture back in place?
Man, I know whenever you look at any object, when you look at any subject, so whoever helped create it, that's who you want to look at, right? Whoever created the manual to that. HaHa was around in the beginning stages of the process of the Bama standard. And so having them back in that locker room just kind of brings us back to our foundations, right? Like I said, to that toughness, that pride, discipline, and commitment. So having a guy like that understands what the standard is, what the culture is, and just most importantly, knowing who we are as a team, getting every guy to do their 1 of 11, understanding that how you do one thing is how you do everything. HaHa, was successful in real estate even after his playing days in the NFL. So he understands player development, not just physically, but from career development as well. And so I'm excited to see what HaHa continues to do in terms of just making sure that culture is there. Having guys like Coach Steele, again, who were there when Coach Saban was creating that instruction manual for Alabama football, it's going to help us get back to our foundations and back to Bama football.
You're just checking out the show, folks. He is my man Donnie Lee Jr., former Alabama wide receiver, 2-time national champion 2015 and 2017, helping us out here on the show, giving us his thoughts on your Crimson Tide. Donnie, as always, man, we appreciate you, my brother. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, man.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.
Absolutely. Donnie Lee Jr. helping us out here on the channel, on the show. We're going to take our first break here. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we dive into a clip that was seen around the world on yesterday involving the quarterback conversation. What clip could I be referring to? Why did they have people go crazy? We'll talk about it after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
And we're back rocking and rolling here to the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA, rocking and rolling right here with you. So, folks, continue to hit that like button, get those like levels up here, tap that thumbs up for us right there. Also, hit that subscribe button so you can also be in the loop on all things covering your Crimson Tide. That daily Super Chat go, $100 daily Super Chat go. We appreciate all the support from you. But, Eli, there was a clip that made it across the nation on yesterday from Alabama's practice. The clip involved, of course, Alabama's quarterback conversation. And everybody was in a frenzy trying to slow the clip down, start the clip back up, try to zoom in to see who was this guy, who was this quarterback throwing the football to Ja'Cory Brooks, and put it right there on the button on a dime to Brooks for a touchdown, despite the great coverage put on there by Kool-Aid McKinstry. Like everybody and their great-grandmother was trying to figure out who threw this ball. But it became to fruition that it was Jalen Milroe that threw the pass to Ja'Cory Brooks accurately right there on the button. Perfect throw. Great catch by Ja'Cory over outstanding coverage by one Kool-Aid McKinstry. And when I look at Jalen Milroe, just based off his throw, it looks more and more like, okay, he's been working with some private quarterback coach, some quarterback guru. He's been working with somebody, getting his mechanics in order, throwing motion in order, precision in order, accuracy, timing, ball placement in order. He's been working with somebody. I don't know if it's back home in Texas. I don't know where it is. But he's been working with somebody to get these passing mechanics in order. Because that throw right on the money. I mean, play it again, Eli. That throw right on the button. Put it right there in Ja'Cory Brooks' breadbasket. Ja'Cory doesn't have to stop. He doesn't have to wait on the ball. He's not breaking stride. He's right there. Clean catch right in the perfect place for a touchdown. So Milroe's working with some type of quarterback guru here. And for me, if Tommy Rees, as offensive coordinator, can continue this development of Milroe's accuracy and ball placement, Milroe, very dangerous as a quarterback. Could possibly be the best quarterback in the SEC if Tommy Rees continues with this. Once again, I understand you cannot base the entire world off one practice clip. But what this shows us is Jalen Milroe has potential to be consistently accurate. What this shows us is Milroe's been putting in the work. What this shows us is Milroe is saying, I'm in this battle. I'm in this competition. Don't count me out. Don't overlook me. Big throw there. Practice from Milroe. He continues this consistently. This is going to be really nice here for this Alabama football program. We go to a break here right now, folks, but upon our return, we jump into those phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Line us up. We want to dialogue with you, the Bama fans, after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
We're back in here to the action from the break, rocking and rolling. Hottest show on the streets, number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to be in here with you guys. And continue to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make this your show, your network platform, channel space to talk Bama football. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 Daily Super Chat Go. We appreciate that coming from you. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio doing this thing from behind the scenes right here. And we're going to go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
We're calling. It's Bradley and Christian from Atlanta.
How we doing?
Good.
What's on your mind, Bradley?
Will Alabama make the national championship, and why?
Well, Bradley, they got a good chance to do it. I think they will. And why? I think Saban's brought in a coaching staff that understands we have to get back to winning. We have to get back to dominating as we win. And we have to get back to playing to our style. And I think also the talent is there at quarterback. It's there at receiver. It's there at running back. It's there all across the board. So with Saban understanding that we got to be able to win the way we need to, and number two, with the talent that Alabama's got in this program, those are two reasons, Bradley, I see Bama winning that national championship in the fall.
I'm Kristen.
Okay, what's your question?
Who do you think's gonna be the starting quarterback? Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe?
That is a great question right there. Starting quarterback, they're both good. Now, Milroe showed us yesterday in practice that, he has potential to be a really good passer, throwing the football, but they're both good. They're neck and neck right now. I'm not sure at this moment, but as we continue through spring practice, one of these two will pull away, but they are both good.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always great having the kids call in, Eli. It's always great having the children interacting here with the show. Great call right there from Bradley and the entire family calling to the show there. Bradley from Georgia giving his thoughts here on In My Own Words, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, let your voice be made known here on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. As you continue, get your thoughts in here. Got a couple of call topics we'll get to. The first one being Mal Moore, former Alabama coach, administrator, athletic director. Mal did a lot for this program. And 13 years ago yesterday, Mal passed away, 73 years of age, from a pulmonary heart condition. And, Bama football has not been the same since Mal left. It hasn't been the same. And the program misses Mal tremendously, misses him dearly. Saban talked about what Mal meant for him. for the whole Saban family. You know, Mal Moore had that confidence and belief that Saban had when even Saban didn't have it in himself. You know, Mal said, Coach Nick, come on back to college. Your game, your style is going to work in college. And we're going to give you all the resources needed to make sure it works in college. And Mal Moore, he backed Saban, stood behind him. And it's been 10 years since Mal passed away there. But Saban in the presser just sharing stories about what Coach Moore meant to everybody in the program, everybody in Tuscaloosa, but most importantly, what Mal meant to him and to Miss Terry and the entire Saban family. So it was really cool seeing Saban pay that respect there, pay that homage, that tribute there to Mal, to Coach Moore. It's been 10 years since his passing. Next cool call topic, how about a ha-ha Clinton-Dix one time with a response to Hugh Freeze's statement of, about him wanting to beat the crap out of Nick Saban at Alabama. Ha-ha Clinton-Dix, you see the response there on the screen. He says, hey, we're working for championships here at Alabama, so based off his comments, we know where his mind is. His mind is just beating Alabama. Our mind is on winning championships. So we're already seeing ha-ha Clinton-Dix bring that fire from a staffer role. He won 2 national championships as a player, 2011 and 2012. Good to see ha-ha invoke that tough-minded culture back into the building. But we go to our final break here on the show, folks. When we get back, we tidy up loose ends with a little conversation on one Jermaine Burton and what Saban wants more from him. We'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we're back rocking and rolling into the action right here from the break. Hottest show on the streets. We're talking your Alabama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith, TDA. Continue hitting that like button, tapping that subscribe button, making this your show to talk Bama. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily Super Chat Go. We appreciate all the love coming from you, the Crimson Tide fans. And final topic of conversation, Eli, this one goes to wide receiver Jermaine Burton. Back for his second year at Alabama, his senior season overall in college football as a former transfer from Georgia. In his second spring with the Crimson Tide. I have expectations for Jermaine Burton this year. Last year he came in kind of an outsider, coming in from Georgia, had to earn his keep, earn his respect, get the system, all those types of things. And the latter portion of last season, it started to finally click for him. It really did. From the Austin Peay game to the Auburn game to, Kansas State, the last 3 to 4 games of the season, he really kind of started to turn it on. Things finally started clicking for him, opening up more for him. He came alive the last part of last season. Ended the season with 40 catches, 677 yards, a team high in that regard, had 7 touchdown catches. But this year, starting this spring, more is expected from Burton, a lot more. Coach Saban even mentioned it in Thursday's press conference. Burton doing more of the little things right. Burton being more accountable as a wide receiver. Burton handling that business more in terms of not just teaching the young players, but being in phase himself. And when you look at all the talent around him, when you got a Kobe Prentice in the locker room, when you have an Isaiah Bond in the locker room, when you have Kendrick Law and a Shaz Preston in the locker room, and you got Ja'Cory Brooks, the veteran guy in that locker room, and then when you have a JUCO guy like Malik Benson, who once again at that pro day he looked good catching the football, it kind of forces you, hey, I got to really do my thing. Because if I don't do my thing, if I don't, take what Saban is saying to heart here, then very easily somebody else can step up and take the shine. We all know at Alabama, it's next man up. We all know at Alabama, if you're not getting the job done, somebody else will gladly step into that spot and take on that responsibility. So it'll be huge here for Jermaine Burton, who's got a lot of talent. He does. Got a lot of ability. He does. Got a lot of potential. But for him, this is a chance to digest what Coach Saban said, take it into consideration, and get on the field and perform on the field as a big play wide receiver. So the big spring here for Burton. Next fall will be a big fall here for Burton. So looking forward to seeing what he does and becoming that complete all-around guy that can help this program, help this team in particular, get to the college football playoff and win that national championship for the 2023 campaign here. But as always, people, you want the best in news, notes, information, conversation on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast.fm, TuneIn Radio, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to be back on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member and or a subscriber today. That link found in the description as well. Gotta shout out you guys, the outstanding fans of Bama football, the calls, the chats, the conversations that we've been able to have today. You making this your show to talk Bama football. Gotta shout out my man Eli Walker in the production studio, handling that business there from behind the scenes. Until next time, folks, as always, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening. They're my own words.